Hello everyone, my name's Danielle. I'm a writer, a reader, I'm a student, and today I wanted to talk about specifically the reader part. I have not been reading as much as I would like, however, I have been consuming more stories. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. I have been listening to more podcasts and kind of getting over the pretentious buildup that I've had. That's like, well, reading a podcast isn't technically reading. Okay, sure, it's not technically reading, but you're still consuming a story. It's still storytelling. I finished the Magnus Archives only a couple weeks ago. I tried, and I'm currently on the hunt for something new. I don't know if I'm going to listen to another podcast or I'm going to jump headfirst into the books. I have started reading again. So in honor of getting back into reading, I really wanted to show you what my fall TBR is looking like right now. Danielle, why aren't you reading more books? I read more books than the average person, obviously because of my job and my school. Additionally, my school. I'm an English major. All I do is read. I want to share with you some of the books that I am actually really excited to start reading, and maybe it will spark some interest for you too. Because I have been on YouTube for so long, you can really see what books I really love. Meanwhile, as I grow older, you can see how my tastes sort of mature and change and evolve throughout time. Like, I have a lot of nonfiction books on here just because that is what genuinely interests me at the moment. So I ended up breaking up my TBR into different sections. So the first one is like nonfiction personal interests. So you can see I read a little bit of the book, and the book I want to read next is Hood Feminism by Mikki Kendall. I heard about this book on TikTok. Everyone says that they love this book, that it helped destroy white feminism. Whatever the hell that means. I am not a white feminist, literally or figuratively. However, I am interested to see if this book that is so, like, renowned and praised in the feminist community really, that has never crossed my mind before. And I am not saying this because I am, like, a feminist scholar or something like that. That's ridiculous. I'm a person. The reason why I am so suspicious about this book is because it came from TikTok, and critical thinking isn't really a thing on there. So the last chapter I read was called Hunger. It was about food scarcity and how it affects all human rights movement. I knew that. But it touched briefly on the fact that, like, during the waves of feminism, white feminists were fighting for the right to work. Meanwhile, women of color were already working against their will. Cautiously pessimistic, but I am hoping for the best. Excuse me, I have my list on my laptop right here. But the next book I wanted to read was called Civilized to Death by Christopher Ryan. This book, I don't know much about it. However, I did see it on, I believe, Book Riot's, one of their listicles or something like that. It's supposed to be on a play of how, like, oh, our progress is always superior. So I believe Civilized to Death is more so going to be a play on the consequences of imperialism. One of the books that I'm currently planning, it has anti-imperialist themes, and I'm curious to learn more about it so that I can write it better. So the next book I wanted to read is called The Business of Being a Writer by Jane Friedman. Some of the best writers don't know how to be a business at it, and because of that they are unable to devote themselves full-time to it. Now, currently I don't really plan to work full-time as a writer. Don't really want to. It's just not the type of lifestyle that I want for myself personally. However, I still want my writing to be like a side gig, and I would very much appreciate learning how to make this profitable. Some of the best and most talented and skilled creatives that I know, they don't know how to market themselves, and that's incredibly unfortunate. They don't know the difference between a sole proprietorship and an LLC. It's shocking. And I think that as you learn to make a business out of your creative ventures, if that is something you are looking at, you will eventually really get to know who you are and if this is something that you want to do. Because for me, I didn't find out that I didn't want this lifestyle until very recently. So yeah, speaking of getting to know yourself more, the next book I wanted to read was called Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski. It seems like every woman and their mother has read this book. I think that it's more so marketed towards straight women. I'm not sure. I think that it talks a lot more about straight sex, which obviously that's the majority of people. That's our target audience. However, I still think that I will still get value from it. I believe it focuses on people with vulvas. It's pretty much like a sex ed book, talking about things that aren't necessarily that known. Nonetheless, it is still something that I am incredibly interested in, and it seems like a book that every person with a vulva should read. I'm just going to do like a quick content warning. Skip to this timeline if you don't want to hear about me speak very briefly about sexual assault. The next book I wanted to read was called Our Bodies, Their Battlefield by Christina Lamb. This book was... I believe I saw it again on TikTok, but I saw it from someone running a Patreon or something about their socialist book club. So I am more inclined to look forward to it, I suppose, because of that. Call me biased, I'm aware. From what I remember, Our Bodies, Their Battlefield is pretty much a book about how during times of war, women's bodies are oftentimes seen as collateral damage. Like, what is a war without rape? I do not know. Like, that just seems to just come with the territory, unfortunately. And my first thought is, like, why? Our bodies are seen as property, but to be seen as something inevitable that happens during war, it's unfortunate that it happens, obviously. I mean, we look at horrific incidents such as the rape of Nanking. I'm interested to see how it started, why it happens, and what we can do to try and amend that. So those were all of my personal interests. When it comes to nonfiction books, as you can tell, they're kind of all over the place. However, as of right now, I am also curious in learning more about AI because I have a lot of concerns being a writer. Ever more curious about the consequences of this, if I'm even curious to the pros of it. Even if the only pro is like, oh, I love being a filthy billionaire and stealing the profits of working class labor. I want to know more. I think that's the gist of it. Is that I'm a nerd. I love learning. I love learning more, and I'm curious to see what is with AI. I have like a whole list of like 20 books, but I'm only going to list 3. And yes, they are all, I believe they are all biased towards a negative lens towards AI. I do have a few books focused on the positives of AI. However, these were the ones that I thought were most interesting. So the first book that I have here is called Atlas of AI, Power, Politics, and the Planetary Cost of Artificial Intelligence by Kate Crawford. I believe that this book is going to be talking about the political and environmental consequences that happen because of AI. The only thing that I know, I have a vague idea of the political consequences as it relates to how it is affecting other artists and other creatives as of right now, obviously, because that's where I lie. However, the idea of AI playing part in politics seems dystopian. Next book is called The Race After Tech, Abolitionist Tools for the New Jim Code by Ruha Bejamin. This book, I believe, is going to be talking about the social consequences that have occurred because of AI. Obviously going to talk about racism with AI, which to me seems interesting because when I think of AI, I think of an immortal computer that is perfectly unbiased. It's made by humans for humans, so of course it's going to have human bias. And what happens when things like that happen, when it affects real people? And the next book is The Cost of Connection by Nick Couldry and Ulises A. Mejias. So I believe that The Cost of Connection is going to be talking about how much we are willing to trade in our personal data, our personal information to big tech companies, and how those big tech companies are using our own information to benefit capitalism in a way that we did not really consent to, aside from scrolling all the way down and clicking I agree to terms and conditions, which, by the way, you kind of have to nowadays, because who are you without Twitter? Sorry, not Twitter, X. This book really focuses on comparing our data being stolen to colonialism, like and everything that comes with it, like the historic appropriation, the cultural appropriation that comes from colonialism. I am incredibly curious to see how that plays out. I'm curious to see if the writers do it with tact, or if there is a case to do it with tact, or if it does end up being like horrifically offensive. I don't know. Next little section I wanted to read is all about academia, because I am currently in my junior year of high school. No, I'm not. I'm currently in my junior year of college. I think I was filming videos in my junior year of high school. Anyway, I'm in my junior year of college, not in my undergrad, and I am, currently looking at graduate schools as of right now, and seriously thinking about my future career. So, as of right now, these are the books that have currently captured my interest. The first two are very similar. It's called The Field Guide to Grad School by Jasmine McCrory Calarco, and Surviving Your Stupid Decision to Go to Grad School by Adam Ruben. You can kind of guess what the books are about. It's about teaching you how, warning you, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? And for me, I don't really have many options when it comes to the career that I'm currently looking at. You kind of need a master's. But I do find that the titles are very blunt and funny, so it's good to have a good sense of humor when it comes to selling your soul to an elitist institution such as academia. Next book is called Dark Archives by Megan Rosenbloom. So this is a book about, I believe it's going to be about the dark side of what it means to have an archives for museums and universities and schools, etc. I think it's going to focus on the macabre. I think there's a book bound in human flesh, so I'm sure that they will touch on it. It just makes me feel ill.
Hello everyone, Editing Danielle here, and I actually finished Dark Archives by Megan Rosenbloom, so I thought I'd give you a little review. So there's lots of pros to this book. I really, really enjoyed Rosenbloom's writing. She writes incredibly well. She's coherent, you can easily follow the timeline that she set up for us. I found that her writing to be incredibly impressive for a work of nonfiction, especially creative nonfiction. She describes certain settings with just this gorgeous and rich and vast sort of specificity. She goes to lots of gorgeous libraries and she describes it so well. She described the Huntington Gardens and the Huntington Library, one of which I was actually at when I heard this on the audiobook, and it did freak me out a bit because Megan Rosenbloom was walking into the Huntington Library the same second I was walking to the Huntington Library. It was very spooky. I especially enjoyed the psychic distance. Everything felt quite personal. I would say that it gave me the same vibe as when your professor goes off on a side tangent and just starts talking about something that they're really passionate about that has nothing to do with the lecture. That's what I kind of got from it. Speaking on the subject of books bound in human skin, I found it especially surprising personally that the people bound in human skin, it wasn't race motivated. I assumed that it would be. I guess I'm cynical. What I took away from this book is that it's important to remember that everyday people are just as capable as violence and committing atrocities as the quote-unquote monsters are. One thing that concerns me, not necessarily about the writing, but about Rosenbloom's personal opinions on anthropomorphic bibliopegy. Obviously, there's an array of contrasting opinions when it comes to binding books in human skin. We as a society have pretty much gotten it down that it's not kosher. However, what do we do with the books that are already bound in human skin? Do we bury them? Do we cremate them? Or do we keep them in libraries? Is that ethical? So Rosenbloom sides with the latter. Rosenbloom greatly values her role as a librarian. She cherishes, she takes care of, and she protects books for the next generations to come so that, the knowledge can be passed on. And she really values her responsibility. I respect that viewpoint when it comes to human skin books. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think I do. But I don't know enough about the topic, and clearly she's the expert. I don't think that it's my place to decide what should be done with these books. However, ultimately someone else is making the decisions, and I feel like that should be concerning for the layman to kind of understand what's going on. Overall, this book was fantastic. She writes well, and she proposes an interesting moral dilemma about what should we do with these skin books, because they already exist. Although she shares her opinions on the topic, and it very much permeates the whole entire book to add a layer of bias, she does allow the reader to make their own decision on the topic. And ultimately, I'm reading this book on readability and writing prowess, as opposed to Rosenbloom's personal opinions on the subject. I'd rate it 4 out of 5 stars. It's a really good book, and I really recommend it.
49 books are rumored to be covered in human skin. That's too much. So yeah, those are the books that I want to read for academia purposes. Next section is poetry. Now, I don't have anything specific, but instead I just have my poetry books that I have in person that I have not read yet. I had 3. So the first one is All Dogs Are Good by Courtney Peppernell. She's written other books that I know of. I think they're kind of popular, like the Target poetry. I think I actually got this at Target. But, dude, a whole book about poems about how good dogs are? Who wouldn't want to read this book? I don't even care that, like, she's probably, like, when I skimmed through the other books that she's written, I didn't really like it. This one? Dogs? Look at the cover. Is that not the goodest boy in the world? Next one is called Crush by Richard Siken. I've heard fantastic things about Richard Siken when it comes to his writing. I've heard a lot about the imagery and the atmosphere that he does. This, and especially like the form he does. Like, it's very, when it comes to Richard Siken, it's really good to read it on paper because you can see how he plays with form on the page. I've had this book forever and I still haven't read it. And then finally, I have Lexicon, Poems by Allison Joseph. This book, I got it years ago. I actually got it at the last bookstore. It's the one with the arch in Hollywood. But I got this there as like a little souvenir thing. One of my high school teachers was actually Larry Lexicon. He went viral on TikTok for threatening a dog and like turning his classroom into like a theme out of The Office. So that's frankly why I bought this, because of the title, Lexicon. It reminded me of him. And also, all of these poems are written in iambic pentameter, I believe. So the fiction books I wanted to read: Heir by P.K. Reeves. This book is like a YA vampire high school romance, paranormal adventure type of thing. Seems very like vanilla, like a fun read. The reason why I wanted to read it is because I'm mutuals with PK on Twitter, and she DM'd me and I semi-ghosted her. Sorry PK, I'll try and respond to you, but I can think she was trying to be friends with me, but then I was just busy and it fell through. And anyway, I want to read my mutual's book. Another mutual, Sophia Slade. I want to read Nightstrider. I read the sample from Amazon on Nightstrider. However, I'm currently waiting for the second edition of Nightstrider because Sophia said that she's including more scenes. There aren't that like important to the plot. Like, they're just like fun scenes. So you can buy the version right now and get it, but I was really excited for when it came out, and then I just waited so long, and then now I'm like, I might as well wait for the second edition. So I'm waiting for the second edition. Maybe I can try and get it signed. It's like a dark fantasy book inspired by The Witcher and Pan's Labyrinth. The main character is a literal nightmare who is on a quest for revenge. So Filth by Irvine Walsh is a book about a cop doing horrible cop things. And the reason why I stopped reading it despite like owning the ebook of it was because I read the first few pages and it was really disgusting. Not in a way that I expected. It just turned me off like right away. I think the first line is like really in-depth description about how the main character is farting. It just grossed me out. So then I closed it and then I didn't pick it back up. However, I still do want to read it. It just kind of grossed me out. And you know how it is. Things get in the way of your reading, etc., etc. But yeah, open up with a bang. Next book. I actually have it. Let me see. Let me get it. So the last fiction book that I wanted to read is called House of Cotton by Monica Brashears. So this book is about Magnolia. She is a young black girl living on her own in the deep south. And as she is poor, struggling to make ends meet, she gets offered a modeling job by this guy named Cotton. He's like a stranger in town. And as she gains more money, she starts to realize that there are far more things to worry about than just making rent. Obviously, this has a ton of symbolism in this book. Her name is Magnolia. The guy employing her is literally named Cotton, and she's a black woman. I'm 30 pages in, and I was wondering throughout the whole book, I'm like, this sounds very specific. And then I read the author blurb, and I was like, okay, yeah, obviously, she has an MFA. And it made me, like, laugh a bit, because there is a certain style that a lot of MFA writers have, just because that's how, like, universities teach them how to write. But I think that it's really funny that, not specifically in a bad way, but more funny in a coincidence type of way, where I can read a book and I can, like, spot on, I can tell if they have an MFA or not. Last but not least, it is my rereads, and frankly, the only book I really want to reread is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Basterrica. The next book I want to read is a reread. It is called Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Basterrica. I don't have the English version, I have the Spanish version. I know Spanish. So, Tender is the Flesh, my favorite book, actually, of all time. It's topped Heather O'Neill's The Lonely Hearts Hotel. So this is my favorite book of all time. And I've reread it, like, multiple times. It's a story about this guy named Marco who is dealing with his own personal problems. His wife left him, and his child passed away, unfortunately. He is also working at a human processing plant where humans are, like, bred and slaughtered for the sake of meat, because no one can eat animal meat anymore. You can only eat human meat. It goes into detail, a lot of detail, about the slaughter process. I really like it because it's a very insightful commentary on Argentinian politics and also about capitalism. Very obviously, humans destroying other humans for the sake of profit. You can see where that goes. I can write, like, a whole essay about this book. I could write a thesis on this book, and I would be like, maybe I'll make a video essay about this book, or like a review, because I would love to talk about this book more in depth. How did I get the Spanish version, not the English version? Those are the books I want to read in the fall. Will I get all of them done? Maybe I'm overestimating myself. Maybe I'm underestimating myself. I don't know. We'll find out. But these are all the books that I want to read outside of school. Of course, I will add all of the links down below. There will be, like, affiliate links, so if you choose to buy the book through that link, I get a very small kickback. Anything is appreciated. Let me know if any of these books interested you, if you guys like these types of what I want to read videos, and also, let me know what you guys are reading this fall. So yeah, my name's Danielle, and thank you so much for watching. I am trying to post new videos every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Okay,